Brensanity, your one-stop shop for all things Brendan Fraser 24/7, 365.
Except like it's more like first and third or second and fourth. A couple Mondays a month.
Couple Mondays a month. Put that on a shirt.
Your one-stop shop for all things Brendan Fraser. A couple Mondays a month. We're talking about 2 different movies today, as always.
As always, we are talking about George of the Jungle, seminal classic.
Yes, 1997.
And Crash.
Y'all, if you heard last episode, you know how I feel about that. And we are joined by a friend of ours, Jay, who will be joining us here in a sec, who feels the same way I feel about Crash.
Yep.
So, y'all are in for that today. It is not going to be the nicest of our episodes. All right, so yeah, we did our intro, and here you are. So, Jay's joining us. We're going to talk about George of the Jungle first, and then we'll get into Crash. And I just want to remind anyone listening that I think that they already know that the two of us, and now 3 of us, are not the nicest people in the Brensanity fandom.
No, we're not.
It's a really nice fandom of lovely people.
I'm sure they are.
Then there's us.
Then there's us.
And we're usually meet some other actor at some point.
Yeah.
Like in every episode. Okay. Whew.
It's a staple of this podcast. People wouldn't know what to do with themselves if we were nice to everyone.
Yeah, that's never been the case. Okay, so George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle. Jay's never seen it, so...
No. Yeah, a second ago, listeners, we did, like, some quick, like, intros just to our, like, just some top, listeners. Like, we have so many. But we love all of you out there.
We do.
Anyhow, we did just, like, a quick intro, and I would say that my favorite of the little, like, things you have to see for George of the Jungle is the coffee scene.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
It is.
It's a silly movie.
This movie is so cute. It's so silly. It's so 90s. It's spectacular.
Yeah, I know you were just saying a minute ago, Jay, like you don't have any like feelings for it because you didn't see it when you were younger, but
yeah,
it's so 90s and it's so silly.
It passed me by, but like I said, I remember the poster and the VHS cover. I remember the trailer, but it wasn't.
Had you been a teenage girl, you probably would have seen it.
Yeah,
possibly. It wasn't my brand of chocolate.
No.
But it was ours.
It was ours.
I can tell.
I believe I saw this in the theaters.
Yeah, I think so too. Did we see it together?
Did we?
It was 97. I think you were in Tulsa.
I was in Tulsa.
So no, we didn't. Separately. Yeah. As opposed to The Mummy, which we did see in theaters.
Yes.
A couple times now. Okay. I don't have any notes for this. So
I do.
Off the cuff.
But most of my notes are just, this movie is so cute.
Let me look. God, Ursula's mom sucks so bad.
This movie is so cute. First one.
Yeah.
A terrifying intruder. Ursula.
Shake a leg. Were you drinking when you made the notes?
Yes.
Okay.
This came out in 97.
97.
So like 10 years.
Titanic
and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Contact.
And we were 13.
Yeah.
13 years.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So, George of the Jungle, if you've never seen it, was based on a cartoon back in the day.
And this is not one of those episodes where we're like going to tell you like stop and go watch it like with Quiet American. Like you don't need to. It's George of the Jungle.
If you haven't seen it yet, you're not gonna.
I mean, they might. They might love our talking about it and then go watch it, but like it's not like it's going to surprise anybody.
Funny, I remember the cartoon.
Yeah, I do too.
And there was a lot of bananas in the cartoon.
And like you're slipping on bananas.
Yeah. A lot of banana pratfalls.
Mm-hmm. Well, like those, I burped already.
Oh.
Oh no. Okay, the last episode we both burped like a lot. This is bad. We need to start drinking whiskey again.
Yeah,
well,
we do.
Better out than in.
Yeah. We cannot keep drinking like White Claw and beer.
All right, so
This is it.
this is it. We're
going back to whiskey next time.
Whiskey next time.
Okay, anyway.
We just can't drink Jameson.
You can't drink Jameson.
Why can't you drink Jameson?
Because she went off on Estonia. She got completely wasted. Fell over.
I drank like
an entire bottle.
I drank a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go back to regular amounts of spirits.
Yeah.
Don't try and Irish it up. It'll always get messy.
Well, we're very messy.
Typically, yes.
Oh, also, I feel like we have to, like, full disclosure. We said that you were a bit flaky last time.
That is true.
You said I was a bit flaky?
Yeah.
You know, like, I never thought I was flaky, and you're like the fourth person to tell me in the space of, like...
But it's okay, we still love you.
It's, like, the Ogilvy told me the exact same thing about going to see a movie, and they were, like, really surprised that I was going to go see a movie, and then
that you did do it?
That you actually did?
Yeah, but I flaked at the very end.
Did you?
Before, like a half hour before I went to see the movie. So
damn, Jay.
I am a complete flake.
But no, you're not complete flake, because in the last episode, we were talking about episode. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My brain is not thinking at all. So in the last episode, we were talking about, like, hey, we're going to maybe have a friend join us, but, like, maybe not, because he's kind of a flake, but hopefully he will. And he is.
And he is.
So you're less of a flake.
It is my day.
This doesn't have to be your only identifier.
I get a notion, and I would agree to something, yeah. And as I'm agreeing to it, I'm like...
Well, I'm glad you came to this ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
At 12:52 a.m. of a Monday evening.
Yeah.
And you know when we were up in the morning working on the grant that I'm writing at like 6:30?
Paperwork. We told you.
I have a
meeting. Your face.
We did.
So this is going to be fun.
Okay, so George the Jungle. It is formulaic. It is not trying to be anything other than what it is.
Yep.
But damn, Brendan Fraser does a great job as George. He's goofy and cute.
God damn, did he put some work into his body?
Yeah, for real.
I know at least 3 times in my notes I said, God damn, Brendan Fraser.
That had to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
do you want to see it again?
No.
Did you not see it?
When you look at, like, when actors now, who are playing like Batman or Captain America, like, they get massive.
Yeah, but I think they're using steroids.
Yeah, well, isn't there this Hollywood diet thing that they're all on?
Probably.
To build muscle quick.
There's always some kind of, like, Hollywood diet thing.
Like, he looks healthy.
I mean, kind of.
He's still a bit svelte.
I think he's gotta be dehydrated.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
Gotta be.
Well, he's in the jungle, he sweats a lot.
That's true. I mean, that's a fact. He's in the jungle with the lions.
Mm-hmm.
In the heart of Africa.
Sure.
The Bukuvu.
the Bukuvu. God.
Authentic.
It's a documentary, Jamie.
Uh-huh.
It's a documentary.
That documentary, George of the Jungle.
About that man who lived his whole life in the jungle with his mysteriously English-speaking ape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
And that is the thing that bugs me that's never answered, which, like, I don't know why I'm expecting an answer from this movie at all, but how did he learn English?
He learned it from Ape.
No, how did Ape learn English? I know how George badly learned it from Ape, because clearly Ape speaks fluently. How did Ape learn it?
If I was writing it, I would be like, George's parents were like English teachers.
That would make sense.
You know?
But George was a baby when the plane crashed.
Oh.
So were they trying to teach the monkeys there English?
Oh.
Maybe they were like psycholinguists and they wanted to see if apes could pick up English.
And only one of them did.
Very well.
Very well. With the accent that
screenwriter had this whole backstory to answer that question, and then the producers and director were like,
we'll assume that that's the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my one big, like, what the fuck about this movie. I don't have any problems with any other parts of it at all.
But even he was better, he's more well spoken than George himself.
Yeah, George was like speaking like stiltedly, and Ape is just like fluently.
George doesn't use pronouns.
No, he doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
How would he get on in today's society?
Oh my god.
God.
Probably perfectly, because he wouldn't assume anyone's pronouns.
There you go.
Yeah. Better than that,
You just
received
call everyone
our
fella.
King's English that Ape speaks mysteriously. Fella. But then there's Lyle.
Ugh, fucking Lyle.
So Lyle was conversating in church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's basically more or less betrothed to Ursula. They're engaged. But Ursula is not interested in this at all.
Of course.
Which is just right off the bat obvious, and she just takes off.
She's not like the other witch girls.
No. She's not. Yeah, exactly. She takes off to Africa for whatever reason. I can't even remember. Oh my god. I don't think it's even mentioned.
It's not mentioned.
So
she
she's
just wants to go.
Yeah, she's just trekking around Africa with this team of people that she's hired to take her into the jungle.
It's that whole old European Grand Tour.
Yeah.
Before they settle down, they go off to Africa.
And there's nothing to worry about. She has to prepare for it at all. And then he shows up.
And then who?
He shows up, Lyle, because he can't be he wants to be there. He's afraid that she'll need him.
She was off on her own task.
Yeah.
And he just
shows up.
He doesn't want her to be off doing anything by him, without him. And he shows up in his ascot uselessness. Ascot wearing uselessness.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't explain why she's gone there.
No, it never does. She's just in Africa.
It's not important to the plot.
Yeah, I guess she's just trying to get the fuck away from Lyle, honestly.
It's amazing how the other half live.
It truly is. They can just jet set off to
the deepest, darkest Africa.
Bukuvu. I just watched this movie today.
I cannot say that right. I watched it a week ago. Bukuvu. The country in the middle of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
That we all
they
know.
never said it was a country. They just said it was called the Bukuvu.
So it could be a region?
Yeah.
Listen, I may not have done...
It doesn't really drive the plot forward.
I may not have done excellently in geography, but I don't think that is real.
And so why does George go back to America?
Because Lyle shoots him.
Yeah.
What?
Lyle shoots him.
Yeah.
Why does...
Because he's a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lyle doesn't want George taking his lady.
George is running at them because the poachers have gun trained at Ape.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get between the gun and Ape.
Okay.
And Lyle's all stop or I'll shoot. But he's supposed to have a lighter.
Yeah, I got confused.
A lighter.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it wasn't a lighter, it was a real gun.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Lyle ends up shooting George in the head.
What?
He's totally fine.
He's totally fine.
He's completely fine from it. No big deal. Just shot in the head.
The narrator says, the beginning of the movie, nobody dies in this story, they just get really big boo-boos.
Yeah, but that's a serious head trauma.
But not in this
world.
Not
in this world.
This is George of the Jungle world, where we have a narrator, and the people, the poachers, even interact with the narrator.
Okay.
So...
does he get shot in the face?
It's
it's up here.
It goes But still, that's gonna fuck you up a little
bit. So it just grazes him?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not good.
No, shit.
So then Ursula whisks him off to San Francisco to get the finest medical treatment available.
How does... Okay.
Airplane.
Hi, baby.
Is there a scene about him getting a passport? How does he get through U.S. immigration?
I think she just puts him in luggage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no immigration problems. The next day we
it's
see...
a private jet.
Oh my gosh.
Is it?
I was trying to pick her up. Work. Sorry. I try to pick that cat up periodically, and she's gonna kill me someday.
Well, I was just.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
His face.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
That just... How dare you?
I just love her.
I love her too, but
she was gonna sit on our microphone.
She was gonna. You were going to.
Yeah, there's somehow, mysteriously, no passport scene. No, who is this random man with no papers, no birth certificate, no nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem.
None of that.
But he's just so pretty that they clearly just let him walk right in.
Well, I'm sure
nude.
They flew back on a private jet.
Yes, actually, I'm sure they did fly back on a private jet.
They did.
Yeah, so that's not really an issue.
the narrator specifically says.
You can just go grab people in Africa and fly back. That's normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Not a problem at all.
Oh, God. But that is probably totally accurate to this day. So,
what?
You just go grab somebody if you're rich enough and just jet set off. That's,
Well, it also helps that he's the white color. I mean, the right color.
Yes.
And blue eyes.
But that's not enough for her mom.
Oh?
Who was like, God forbid you don't marry Lyle. Perfect Lyle, who's just the dumbest dumb box of rocks.
Yeah.
He's completely useless.
But it comes from old money.
I mean, so does she. Are they broke in this movie and I don't remember?
No, they're...
Yeah, no one's broke.
The narrator says preternaturally wealthy.
Yeah.
So...
Preternaturally.
Well, it was the late 90s.
Yeah. So, why marry this guy for money when you have your own money? You can fuck around and marry this guy you just met in the jungle 3 days ago. It's fine.
She does.
Yep.
At the end of the movie, they get married.
Even from the scene you showed me, all her, girlfriends were just,
Well,
he's a hottie.
Yeah.
And
one of them, totally wanted to steal it.
yeah.
The brunette
She
girl.
actually says, can I have him?
Yeah, which is you can't just be giving people away.
You need at least one friend to be like, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah, I want to say I would be like that, but, I just want you to be happy.
What?
Well, thank you, but...
If there was a lot of red flags.
I know in my life, I have Jay to be like, hey... What?
Yeah. If I see a lot of red flags, I would say something. The only red flags here are that they barely know each other. He doesn't know anything about her culture or language or anything at all, and he's out of fucking nowhere. But he himself seems like a nice dude.
Seems like a crazy person.
He's gentle and kind.
He's a white guy dressed as Tarzan, swinging around.
But that's not like he just did that for fun. He grew up in the jungle, and it's really obvious. His house is there, and his family heirloom, little things that he kept from his parents. He grew up in there, raised by an ape. That's weird. Very weird. Mm-hmm. But he is a gentle, kind person. He's not doing anything to, he's kind to the other animals. He's nice.
Yeah.
So, those red flags aren't there. He's not the guy that, you have known for a while.
But it makes me think...
settle for, but he kicks dogs.
You know that whole internet thing that's... You know that whole internet thing that's going on now where they ask women, would you rather be alone in the jungle with a bear or man?
Yeah.
Do you still choose George of the Jungle?
I don't think George of the Jungle is a man in the same sense as the rest of men because he hasn't been raised in our culture. He's just some dude. I just don't think he counts. He didn't grow up in the same environment.
No, he grew up in a jungle with wild animals.
And that's one thing that I think if this was more realistic, he would be really reticent to even approach her and the rest of the humans. I think he'd be more like apes. And
he would be more like a bear than a man.
Yeah, more like a bear than a man.
Oh, so there you go. That answers the question.
Yeah. He would be watching what's happening, kind of scared of the guns,
Yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So that's George of the Jungle.
Before we finish George of the Jungle, I have to say, I fucking love the scene in the waterfall where he's trying to look
Oh, yes!
Okay, so you didn't see this one, Jay. There's a scene where, he has had advice by Ape about how to be attractive to women, and he's doing this with his face.
He's doing ape mating rituals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pushes out his cheeks and, makes noises and,
throws leaves.
Yeah, throws leaves. And it's she's all okay.
I'm gonna go get some air.
I fucking love that scene. It's so silly. And I like the one where he puts a flower in his hair. He's like, George just want to feel a little special.
George just want to look special today.
Yeah. Okay, now finish the George in the Jungle. It's sweet.
It is.
It's a sweet movie. It's silly. It's nothing you want to watch when you want to watch something heavy or whatever. You're just sick that day and you just want to relax with something silly on TV.
Yes.
It's like Mrs. Doubtfire. It's that era of you have nostalgia crammed in there. You don't have to think a lot.
Yeah.
Popcorn flick.
Yeah.
And it makes you chuckle.
Exactly. Gotcha. And Brendan Fraser is very adorable in it.
Very much.
Now let's talk about Crash.
Do
Oh my god, it's so bad. Okay.
you want to?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to start us off with a synopsis because there's a lot, and if you
Normally, we tell you to stop and watch whatever movie we were talking about, but we're not going to do that this time.
yeah, why would I do that to anybody? So I'm going to bring up.
Except you can watch scenes with just Brendan Fraser.
Yes, you totally can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of. I mean, you're gonna see his wife go fucking crazy, but
You're gonna see him.
Bollock.
Yeah.
Bullock.
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 Yeah, not Bollocks, yeah.
Bullock.
Sandra Bullock, aka Jean Cabot. Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me just bring this back up on my phone. Not that movie. 2004 movies. There's other Crash. It's a whole other thing. Okay. All right. So here's the synopsis in general of Crash, so you can just kind of be like up to speed. And I'm also going to go over the cast because it's a lot of people. Okay. So first things first. The okay, it's set in Los Angeles. Detective Graham Waters and his partner Rhea are involved in a minor collision with a car being driven by Kim Lee. Rhea and Kim Lee exchange racially charged insults. Waters later arrives at a crime scene where the body of an unnamed dead child has been discovered. The film then backtracks 48 hours to trace the preceding chain of events over to the unarmed dead kid. So the next scene you see is Anthony and Peter, two young black men. I like how they describe Peter as a child and then a man and
The same sentence.
switch that over, yeah. I think he's like a teen. So Anthony and Peter carjack District Attorney Rick Cabot and his wife Jean. Before they carjack them, though, there's this whole scene that I will talk about in a little bit. As the men drive away in the SUV, Peter puts a figurine of St. Christopher, the patron saint of travelers, on the dashboard. They pass by Waters and Rhea, who are investigating a homicide in San Fernando Valley parking lot. The pair learn that a white undercover cop, Detective Conklin, shot a black undercover cop, Detective Lewis, with neither of them knowing the other one was a policeman. At home, Cabot, our guy, Brendan Fraser, rails that the carjacking incident could cost him re-election because no matter whom he sides with, he'll lose either the black vote or the law and order white vote. Hispanic locksmith Daniel Ruiz overhears Jean, who is Brendan Fraser's Rick Cabot's wife, who suspects that Daniel is a gangster for fucking no reason at all, demanding that the locks be changed again after he's just changed them. Which, again, they're changing locks. So, the people carjacked the car. They didn't rob their house. While searching for the Cabot's stolen vehicle, Sergeant John Ryan pulls over an SUV driven by a wealthy black couple. TV director Cameron Thayer and his wife Christine. Though Ryan knows the vehicle is not the one he's searching for, he accosts the couple on his claim that he saw Christine performing fellatio on Cameron while he was driving. During the traffic stop, Ryan performs a body search on Christine and molests her in front of Cameron, totally emasculating Cameron and traumatizing Christine and them both. Ryan's younger partner, Officer Tom Hansen, looks on in horror, but doesn't do shit. Hansen goes to his superior, Lieutenant Dixon, to report Ryan's conduct and request a transfer. Dixon, a black man, tells Hansen that a racism complaint would hurt his own career and allow the transfer on the condition that Ryan's conduct would not be mentioned. Ryan is shown living with his ill father, then, who can't get health insurance. Because this movie, it flips back and forth between scenes. On the phone, Ryan takes out his frustration on the black HMO administrator he speaks with. When the insurance adjuster does not respond quickly enough, Ryan insults her competency by saying that more qualified white men didn't get the job because of affirmative action. Meanwhile, in the carjacked SUV, Anthony and Peter hit a man of Asian descent while they were passing a parked van. They take the injured man's body and leave him in front of a hospital. Meanwhile, Waters, who is in a relationship with Rhea, gets into an argument with her when he makes a casual remark about Mexico being her country of origin. Rhea angrily reminds him that her father is from Puerto Rico and her mother is from El Salvador. Waters later visits his mother, who asks him to find his missing younger brother. Ryan later comes across a car crash and an overturned vehicle. In his attempt to rescue the passenger, Ryan sees it's Christine, who recognizes the officer from their earlier incident and frantically resists his assistance. That scene totally freaks me out. Ryan manages to pull her out of the car before it's engulfed by a fireball. As Christine is being helped by paramedics, she stares at Ryan. Hold on, I think that this is missing the part. Yeah, this synopsis I'm reading is missing the part about the Persian family and the
shopkeeper.
the shopkeeper and Ruiz again. So I'm just gonna briefly from my own memory. So the shopkeeper Farad, I think. Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
I hope I'm right. Whatever. Farad is super stressed out because people keep vandalizing his shop. He tries to go and buy a gun, and his daughter is with him, and he does buy a gun. I don't know if he gets it from this one shop or later, but he definitely gets a gun. Oh yeah, they do because she's there. And the shopkeeper at the gun shop is this white racist, your stereotype for a gun shop owner. Picture it in your head. That's him.
I just have to say every character is a stereotype.
Every single one. So then Ruiz is out there trying to fix the door / lock situation, and he's like, hey, it's not the lock, it's the door. The door is flimsy. You need a different kind of door. And the shopkeeper Farad doesn't believe him and thinks that he's just trying to scam him, and that he's actually going to come back and rob him. So the second time that Ruiz has to deal with that shit.
Yep.
In a couple of days. Okay, so we'll come back to that in a minute because I just noticed it should have been mentioned already. So Waters is summoned to a meeting with DA worker Flanagan, who works for the DA, which is Brendan Fraser's character Rick. Flanagan tells Waters that the Internal Affairs wants Conklin imprisoned. Waters has evidence that Lewis was possibly involved in a drug deal, but Flanagan promises Waters a job as Cabot's chief investigator, as well as clearing of his brother's criminal record in exchange for his cooperation. At a press conference, Waters reluctantly confirms the homicide was racially motivated. Anthony and Peter carjack another navigator, which happens to belong to Cameron now. So, it's been a shitty fucking week for Cameron and his wife Christine. Cameron fights back, and Peter flees the scene before a police car approaches. Cameron and Anthony drive away, and a police chase ensues, with Hansen as one of the pursuing officers. When police catch the SUV, Hansen recognizes Cameron, and out of remorse for the earlier traffic stop, he vouches for Cameron to be let off with a warning. Anthony, who is hiding during the exchange, is dropped off at a bus stop by Cameron. Later that night, as Hansen is off the clock, he picks up a hitchhiking Peter. During the drive, Peter reaches into his pocket, and Hansen, thinking he's reaching for a gun, shoots him. Peter collapses dead, revealing he was only reaching for his St. Christopher statuette, which is Hansen has a St. Christopher statuette on his own dash, right? And he was laughing about that, and it was I have one too. Hansen hides the body in some bushes and burns his car. So, fully on committing to that. Waters and Rhea later arrive at the scene, and it's revealed that the dead body is Waters' brother, Peter. Waters' mother disowns him over Peter's death. Anthony comes across the white van from earlier with its keys still in the ignition. He steals the van and takes it to a chop shop, where it's discovered there are Cambodian immigrants chained in the back. The van had belonged to Kim Lee and her husband, the man Anthony and Peter accidentally hit at the beginning of the movie, meaning they were involved in human trafficking. The chop shop owner offers Anthony $500 per immigrant, but Anthony refuses. After driving the Cambodians to Chinatown and freeing them, he passes by a fender bender. One driver turns out to be the insurance adjuster that Ryan was previously yelling with, and the other is an Asian man. An exchange of racially charged insults erupts between the drivers and the fucking music.
Yep.
This fucking movie. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna tell you who the cast is. So I just said 1,000 names and interweaving, storyline, and I get it. That was the point that they crash
into
together.
each other.
So it's just,
well, doesn't it start off with that Don Cheadle?
Yes, Don Cheadle is Waters.
Talking about, he says the movie title.
Yeah, which is just so ham-fisted.
But everything in this movie is harmless.
Yeah. So Don Cheadle plays Detective Graham Waters. Sandra Bullock is Jean Cabot, Rick's wife. Matt Dillon is Sergeant John Ryan. Matt Dillon can play a bigot.
Yeah, he can.
Thank you.
Chilling like Matt Dillon on Penicillin.
Jennifer Esposito is Rhea. Brendan Fraser is District Attorney Rick Cabot. Terrence Howard is Cameron Thayer. Ludacris is Anthony. Thandie Newton. It says Thandie Newton.
Sandy, that's her name, yeah.
Her name
She's
is
a British
Thandaway,
Thandaway.
Oh, is it?
but for a long time everyone was calling her Thandie,
Gotcha. So she just went with it.
and she was like, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
But she was like, that's not my real name, but
So Thandaway.
eventually she was like, that's not my real name. My
Good.
real name is Thandaway.
I will not call her Thandie then.
I used to like her until I saw 2012.
Oh.
She played like the president's daughter. And
There's nothing wrong with 2012.
I've never seen 2012.
look, I've watched that movie so many times. It's a terrible movie. But
It's awful.
Okay. Well, at least Brendan Fraser's not in it, so we don't have to watch it.
More's the pity.
I already had to watch Crash like too many times in my life. Michael Pena is Daniel Ruiz. Ryan Felipe is Officer Tom Hansen. Lawrence Tate is Peter. Sean Taub is Farhad. Aha, it was Farhad. Behar Sumek is Dory, Farhad's daughter. Ashlyn Sanchez is Lara Ruiz.
Are you going through the IMDb right now?
Yeah, just like who they are. We're almost done. Karina Oyabe is Elizabeth Ruiz, Daniel's wife, who we don't see at all, much at all.
We do.
When she's crying.
When she's crying because she thinks her daughter is dead.
Yeah, I hate that scene. It stresses me out. Oh my god, the first time I saw this movie and I thought that little girl was going to die, I was going to just freak out.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that Michael Pena's daughter?
Yeah.
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 And she's so sweet, and she's scared of, like, there's, like, gunshots around, and she wants to move, and he gives her a necklace that's supposed to, like, protect her, like an invisible shield. God. Makes me mad. Okay. Basically, there we are. And I'm getting people, like, I barely even saw there. Okay. So, Brendan Fraser, first off, that's who we're talking about. That's who this podcast is for. And he does a great job. I am mad about this movie. But he plays a DA. He plays a DA really well.
Slightly racist DA.
Well, it's LA.
Yeah.
So his whole deal is that he wants to be reelected, and he is like not as racist as his wife, and he's like expected to be progressive, and he's having to like skirt this line between like getting everyone's votes, but being not as racist as his wife isn't exactly it's not a great endorsement.
It's not.
Because Jean Cabot is fucking racist.
Well, my problem with this is it's so formulaic and it's so stereotypical. Like the Arab shop owner, the white racist cop, and like the waspy bitch wife, and the gangster hoodlums, and
everything is so stereotypical.
The black dude, but it's not black enough, dude.
Oh, I hate it so
And then it tries to be clever and like, but everybody's racist.
Right.
In their own
own
and that
special way.
makes us all the same.
And then that whole idea right there, even it's like it erases the shittiness of some of the white characters. First off, who have like more power in the movie and more power in like society, because it's like, oh, Jean's really just depressed, and she's like an angry woman.
Well, wasn't there a Hispanic guy who hated like, he's a black guy. And he hated Hispanics, but he was dating an Hispanic.
It was Waters.
That's Graham Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not Ruiz. Waters and Rhea, because like he's all like, oh, Mexicans or whatever. And
that's
she's
his,
like,
that's his
Mexican.
bad side. But to show his good side, it's like he looks after his mom.
Right.
I remember that. Yeah.
Just like with Officer Ryan, who's, a rapist and a bigot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's taking care of his sick dad, and now you have to like care about him. You're supposed to care about him.
Well, it's every character. It's like this is the formula for the characters. It's one, show an example of them being a racist bigot, and then show an example of them being a really nice person, and then just keep repeating that.
They don't all get that though. They don't all get the treatment of them also being shown as a nice person, because like when is Farad shown as anything other than like superstitious and paranoid and hothead? He's not shown any other way. And it was like 3 years after 9/11.
Yeah,
so that was great.
That's great.
It's a good decision. I need to start over for a second because I'm about to go off. Starting over about this movie, I can't tell if it was done with all the best intention in the world and just not a second thought, like the first thought level, and it didn't go into the second thought level. I don't know if Paul Haggis?
Paul Haggis.
Thank you. I don't know if Paul Haggis intended this to be, hey, I'm going to make this thing that makes everybody confront their stereotypes and like their internal biases and understand. And then he just didn't do well at it.
Yeah.
Like it just failed.
Yeah.
Because it's so...
It's the liberal... what is that? The limousine liberals. You know?
Yeah.
Where it's like... I'm doing something, you know, to show people that, you know, we're all the same.
Yeah.
It's like
racism
I don't see color. I don't see color. You know, it's that nonsense.
That's exactly
I'm sure he's
right.
coming, he thinks he's coming from a good place, but...
Yeah, and I do think that if people who have never investigated their thoughts on, like, race saw it, they would think, oh, this is very deep. Yeah, and it would start conversations that need to happen. But, like, it does not do what it purports to do. And I know at the time it came out, it was a big deal, and everybody was talking about how very helpful it was. But it does not actually do what it says it is going to do. It is all reinforcing stereotypes.
I just want to point out I made 5 notes for this movie.
Oh, did you really? Okay. Can you read them? I want everyone to hear
Fucking
this.
Crash, I guess, is one of them. And then the second one is I don't like you, Paul Haggis. This movie is so fucking full of itself.
Yes.
That's it.
I want to make sure I say the nice thing first before I go off into the mean area, which is that, like, it is entirely possible this was intended well, but it didn't
land.
Get there. Because right off the fucking bat, she's all like, Jean's all like, oh, I'm scared of these black kids. And then they're like, oh, look, fucking stereotypes. These rich white people are scared of us when really, you know, we're the only ones here.
We should be scared of them.
And then those same kids immediately carjack them.
And so we've got guns.
The movie just proves that she was right.
I mean, who was the movie made for?
People like that.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's those limousine liberals, you know, who always think of themselves as you know, I'm tolerant. But really what they mean is, I tolerate minorities. Stuff. They're the people who go on, well, I don't see colour, I don't see race, you know, which is fucking stupid.
And I think that this movie was meant to make people start to say that they do see race, but it doesn't do the job well.
Yeah, it's those people who go, well, I'm full of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
And you end up feeling, it's like, it wants you to feel like Jean and Ryan, for instance, get redemption. Yeah. Because she falls down the stairs, and now she appreciates Maria, who she couldn't give a tiny shit for before, her maid.
Maid, yeah.
And now she's like, oh, you're my best friend. Because her actual, like, friend, so to speak, like, didn't have time for her. So now she cares. It's like when you know someone who, like, is such a bigot, but then they know somebody in their actual, like, orbit that is gay.
It's the definition of I have black friends.
It is.
Yeah.
Only then do they fucking give a shit or like see anyone else's existence. It's like, why does it have to take you having it in your own life before you give a tiny care?
And I think the majority of people who went to the store and who enjoyed it used it as a talking point. It's like, yeah, I went to Fuckin Crash, you know, it's really informative, and it's almost like
it made my thing.
Yeah, you know, it was a learning process for me, and you know, stuff that I just fucking obvious to everybody else.
Yes.
But to them, they wear it as this kind of badge of.
And it's like, I guess we should say, finally, welcome to the fucking party, I guess.
Well,
but they always act like they just found out, and therefore it's new to everybody.
They're the guys who drink craft beer and skinny half lattes. Fucking you know?
I'm not going to show everybody who likes a skinny latte. I think there's probably be better people out there who drink skinny lattes than there are that like this movie.
But what is it? It's made for a specific person.
Yeah.
You know? And
it's so like you said in your notes,
it's so full of itself.
Full of itself.
Yeah.
It's self-important. It was made for Paul Haggis.
Yeah, well, isn't it like it's based on an incident that happened? Well, not based, but like he got the thought of it. He was in a carjacking or something.
Yeah, right after a premiere in front of a Blockbuster, I think. I looked this up.
So was it who carjacked him?
That's a good question. I wonder it was like.
Was it a person of color? And then he got really angry, and then he made him think.
I bet it was. I bet it was two black kids, just like it is in the movie, because it doesn't seem like it would be that much more like creative.
Yeah, and just everything about this movie is wrong. And what was interesting, it made me think of, because I can't remember how I felt watching it in 2005.
Yeah,
and I don't know if my reactions are stronger now because of the time we live in now.
Right.
But I remember whenever the Oscars were on, I would watch all the movies that were nominated. I'd go on this binge a week before and catch up on all the movies. And even then, I thought it was dog shit. There were so many better movies.
Brokeback.
Yeah.
Yes. I just got really curious. Like, what is his political affiliation?
Yeah. Paul Haggis.
No doubt a Hollywood liberal.
Well, yeah, but that right there encompasses kind of a bit of a spectrum.
But I mean, Hollywood doesn't deal with race very well.
Well, yeah, and also being California, like a California Republican is not the same thing as an Oklahoma Republican, so it's kind of hard to say.
Because remember before, like, you had like American History X, and as a movie, it's fine, but it's like the racists are neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
And they end up in prison at the end, and they get to come up, and then they change and learn, and they realize, people of color are just like the rest of us. And then it's all sealed up in a nice kind of bow, and it's still, there's no nuance. When that Spike Lee movie, was it Some Like It Hot? Not Some Like It Hot.
I want to see Spike Lee make Some Like It Hot. Spike Lee's rendition of Some Like It Hot.
I want to watch that.
Me too.
What was that?
I want to
start about Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing, yes. That was far more interesting and talked about race far more.
Yeah,
and I just got it. It wasn't nuanced, and it didn't like.
All this does is regurgitate the same stereotypes it says that it's against, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Yes.
But my biggest issue was that it won Best Picture that year.
Yeah.
That was fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I will say, Brendan Fraser is one of the least horrible parts about this movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
He plays his character really well.
Mm-hmm.
He is slightly racist because he's like concerned, like overly concerned about how it's going to affect his election,
re-election.
But that's also really, but not like his wife. So like it's not as bad.
I don't know if we can say that word on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is this going on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
His character's not big fan. An a-hole.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then all the other ones, especially Sandra Bullock's character.
It really looks like she is trying his patience, and he is being a very patient husband.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he plays a really good, like, middle of the road, progressive LA DA. Like,
now,
it looks like
are we
he's
biased
trying.
because we just like Brendan Fraser?
No, he does a good job. He does a great job in this movie. Honestly, there's a lot of really good actors in this. And I think that, like, in the last last time we talked about Quiet American, and I said I wanted him to play more villains, and he doesn't play a villain here, but he plays this like sort of gray area character.
Yeah.
Of like, this is a wealthy white guy who's like putting up with his wife's completely racist, insane tirade, and he doesn't go over and talk to the dude who's doing his locks and say, "I'm really sorry, my wife is like fucking nuts." He doesn't do that.
But imagine if his acting choice was the same character of George of the Jungle as the DA.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
That would be crazy.
Or it was like, or what if the Sandra Bullock character was the wife, the girl, the love interest from George of the Jungle,
and George just grew up, and now he's
and
the LA. Yeah,
and he's the LA. Yeah,
yeah, that's how kind of tongue twister, right? LADA.
LADA.
That is a whole like.
and because of his background and where he grew up in deepest darkest Africa, you know,
he doesn't see race.
He doesn't see race. He's colorblind. He doesn't see color. I mean, his brother's a gorilla.
This is a whole wonderful.
I wonder if this is on AO3.
Oh God, I want it to be. I want someone out there to write this fan fiction. I don't have time to write fan fiction about this.
It's a fan. You know.
But if it is out there and we find it, we'll share it with you, listeners.
I drank so many of these.
How many do you drink?
We have 2
oh,
left.
God. That's too many.
That's a lot.
Stop.
Don't tell me what to do.
That's a point. It's just like lemonade.
Yeah, okay, next time I'm back to whiskey.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't want to keep burping on every episode.
I know. It's so embarrassing.
I realize that is a level of quality that our listeners have come to love. But I cannot keep burping on every episode.
At least you quit singing.
I was singing on just one.
I sang on a couple.
You were wasted.
Yeah. I was drinking whiskey.
You just opened another one. What's wrong with you? I'm taking this last one away.
We have to finish it.
She can finish the one she has in her hand. You're an enabler.
Yeah. I'm Irish. So.
That's no excuse.
Once you crack open something, you gotta finish. It's like opening a bottle of wine. You can't just open a bottle of wine and have a glass and put the cork back.
True, it won't be as good.
Well, it's not that. It's just wine.
It actually is it's gross.
Oh yeah, no, but that's a good excuse.
Yeah, you gotta have excuses.
But it's the same way. If I open a bottle of whiskey, I have to finish the bottle of whiskey.
Well, yeah, but between the three of us, one bottle of whiskey is not a bad idea.
No.
So between the three of us,
I
say again. But yeah, it's no surprise for any of us or like anyone listening to this podcast that I think Brendan Fraser did a good job in this. I don't think anyone's acting skills were shitty.
No.
It's just a badly
well
done. Yeah, ham-fisted is the best thing I can think of.
Yeah,
like they're all like you can't fault the acting. Acting was fine.
Yeah,
just the script was.
They can only do so much with what they're given, and they're given this like navel-gazing, self-serving. Dribble.
See, it's one of the reasons I don't like Sandra Bullock.
Bullock.
Because she tends to do these white savior movie type things as well, and race class, and she doesn't do it fine. Well, she's fine as an actress, but the movie itself is like, oh.
I mean, she definitely played this role.
Yeah.
But like
The Blind Side.
Yeah,
especially
right.
with all the truth coming out now about that.
Yeah. I don't know that much about Sandra Bullock, to be honest with you. I don't know anything about her life.
Yeah, The Blind Side was a lie.
Oh, I know about that. I just don't know anything about Sandra Bullock's life.
Is it her who buys up young authors' books and has sole copyright to them to make movies out of them?
Oh,
I know Reese Witherspoon does
maybe
that.
It's Reese Witherspoon.
See, just like with the Oscar episode, I don't know shit about actors' lives at all. And I realize that when people start talking about things that everyone else knows.
I think you'd be disappointed.
I do know about Brendan Fraser's life.
Mm.
And it's great. And he's a good dude.
He is.
Yep. Goddamn Jim.
Goddamn Jim.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about Crash? And then just it fucking
No,
sucks.
I'm
No,
fucking over it.
I'm gonna go the rest of my life not seeing it again.
Yeah.
Again. I saw it once before, and then I saw it for this, and that's 2 times too many.
Yeah.
And I get why I saw it the first time. You know, it was a class assignment, and it made sense, and it was 2010.
I will say this: the only good thing that Crash did that. I have to stop myself before I even finish that sentence.
Because you're not sure if it's actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to like it changed the Academy and Hollywood,
Only because it sucks so bad.
but it didn't change the Academy and Hollywood.
Yeah, it's still kind of
Oscar's
Still-
still so white.
Yeah,
Well, and I get like, and like it was assigned for a class assignment, and it did lead to really good class discussions because some people needed to see it. It's just that's never where. Look, some people are they gotta watch things slowly. They gotta ease into the conversation. But it doesn't need to be where people stop. And
But that's
fucking
like-
Paul Haggis thinks it
it's
is.
like teaching kids about how the Earth was created a millions
Some
of years,
people
but just
aren't there.
showing them the Bible as stuff, the creationism theory.
No, it's like some people just aren't there yet at all. So like it did genuinely start good conversations in class, but you know that's where it left people. Some people just stopped there, and I swear Paul Haggis thinks it's a be all end all. Like this is the thing that's going to change the fucking world, and it isn't. It just all these people in the movie they just reiterate the same stereotypes that he says that he's setting out to like dispel. Nothing changes. No one grows. Does anyone?
I
grow in
think
this
that's the tagline of the movie.
Nothing changes.
No one grows, and it's like, yeah, Paul Haggis, we know racism is bad. We agree. Thanks for coming to
But
the party.
that's very American sentiment, though. It's like, well, what can we do about it?
No, I don't.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, I guess that's what the movie's trying to say, right? Everyone's
We're
racist.
all
Just give up.
Just give up.
But it's because all the characters are a little bit racist, and some are a lot more racist.
Yeah.
And then the show, but they're also normal people as well.
But
See, that's just like making it okay to be racist.
Well, it goes to and the whole message is like, well, we're all racist and we're all the same.
It really does make you feel like Paul Haggis is
We're
trying
all
to say,
prejudiced.
hey, that racist that you know and hate, cut them some slack because maybe they're taking care of their sick dad.
Yeah, or
It's
maybe
like,
they're
no.
just having a bad day.
Right? Well, who gives a fuck? That's not an excuse to be racist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah, Paul, your movie sucks.
Can I say dog shit on YouTube?
Sure.
I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah. I'm sure it's fine.
We'll find out.
Yeah. I'm sure you can say shit on YouTube. I've seen YouTube say shit on
But I still,
it. Say shit on it.
the worst thing that this movie did was not let Brokeback Mountain win Best Picture.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it really exposed liberal Hollywood because it's like, they love gays as, a political cause, but we don't want to see two guys kissing on screen.
And everyone knows that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I said earlier before we were recording, like, I was working in a video store at the time, and it was just constantly rented out. Just
Shame
constantly.
Brendan Fraser wasn't in that.
Yeah, shame for
Right?
real. Yeah, Brendan Fraser is amazing, and he's the only. If there was a saving grace to this movie, which there's not, but if there was, it would be Brendan Fraser. He does a good job
He
of playing
does.
this like role of.
And
guy on the
he
brain.
still plays like probably the most, even though they're all horrible people,
Like, you're
but
probably
he's the
gonna vote for
most
him still.
likable.
Yeah.
His character is even the most like. If he played like the cop, the Matt Damon,
Ah,
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon's character in it, like
Matt Damon did
no.
deserve this.
No, Matt Damon does not deserve to be described as that cop. But however, Brendan Fraser would have done a great job of it because now we've seen him in movies where he's a villain,
Mhm.
and he's very talented.
Who's his villain?
He plays Alden Pyle in The Quiet American, who's a CIA agent and like a really good villain. He believes he's doing the right thing. He's a total ideologue.
Quiet American. Is that not George Clooney?
No,
No.
you need to just listen to our last episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just know we call you a flake in it. And we
Okay.
love
Just
you.
know that yes, we insult you, but
It's out of love.
Okay.
Okay. And when we were calling you a flake, we said we really hope he does come, so then you did.
Oh, so this was live. Gotcha. I was gonna have to. Okay.
Yeah. You should listen to our podcast
You should
because
listen
you're our friend.
To all of them.
Well,
But
And because you want to hear her get real drunk. You can hear me get drunk on these, but you'll hear her get real drunk.
okay.
It's pretty fun.
I
But
mean,
that being said, is you're always responsible. We do this at your house.
yeah. I don't go anywhere.
Right. So you're totally, responsible to get drunk as you want.
Go to bed.
Yeah. And you didn't rant about Estonia. Or Wakuva, whatever.
The Bukuvu.
The Bukuvu! I cannot pronounce that. Save my life. Oh, God.
Cooper.
Yeah, it's wherever.
It's where George of the
from.
Jungle
Oh,
is from.
that's right.
Yeah, the fictional world in the heart of Africa, whether it's a country or a region, who knows? And also, I really want to know, going back to George of the Jungle before we end this podcast, did they, go visit at all ever? Or did she just, take him out of his whole world and just drop him in San Francisco for the end of time?
Because at the end, when they get married and they have the baby...
Oh, I forgot! You're right!
They stay in the Bukuvu.
You're right.
To my knowledge.
Yeah, they at least
In the jungle?
Yeah, they at least stay there for a while. I forgot about the ending. Thank you.
So,
like I said, I watched this movie today.
Good, yeah.
So.
I can't watch something a week ago and then stay awake all week working and then have it.
Paperwork.
So, yeah.
Again.
You should follow our Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I do follow your Instagram.
Good.
So you'll see the one that I made about my homage to all the work that I've been doing. And the staring at the screen I've been doing. Because, of course, if this is your first time finding us, go follow us everywhere we are. We are Brensanity Pod over on Instagram, and we put Brendan Fraser's face on things every Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that it's safe to say that while Crash is a fucking shit of a movie, Brendan Fraser is a goddamn gem.
And I will say this, I did read up a bit about Crash because I saw it years ago and haven't watched it since. And everyone gets kind of shit in that movie except Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, he does. Exactly.
He doesn't get any shit.
He's a genuine good dude.
We don't deserve him.
No, we don't. Best actor of our generation.
Possibly of all time.
That's it.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.